Hello and welcome to today's episode of Simple Business Dream Life. Today I'm joined by Lucy Shrimpton and I am really excited for this conversation because, like me, Lucy is a huge advocate for understanding success in its rawest form and not just assuming that means more. Hi Lucy, how are you?
Hey, I am good, thanks. I can't wait to have this chat with you.
Amazing. Okay, we're going to dive straight in. Before we get into whatever we're going to talk about today, tell us about what you're up to now.
What I'm up to now, let's fast forward to now, right? Yeah. So
Yes.
at this point in time, after what actually shocked me when I counted up and realized is now 27 years of being in business for myself. So we're getting on for 3 decades.
Oh my goodness,
Um,
that's amazing.
it does make me feel older than I am, but it is because I started young. But the where things are at, actually, it's kind of makes sense because it's a culmination of everything that I have done and built and learned over that time. So I have created eSchool, which is entrepreneurs school. And it really is like the missing piece, the piece that probably the likes of you and I didn't have, and we figured it all out anyway. But it's a hub for driven entrepreneurial people who have a vision, who want to put their magic into the world, perhaps don't know where to start. And it's literally everything you could need to grab, get your hands on, follow, have the support. It's like literally your landing base with weekly like think of it like the staff room, the weekly pop in where you can go and have that real conversation with me and others. So it's community, it's education, the alternative education I call it, that us entrepreneurs don't get in school or uni or anywhere else.
Or anywhere else,
um,
we're getting it through going and having a go in and see what happens.
yeah, exactly. And bringing those people together. So that's the hub and the heartbeat of what I am and have created. And then obviously that's supported with events and getting together. And God, I love doing that. I've got a boat trip coming up this summer where a bunch of us are going out on the Solent and just connecting with other like-minded people. So that's the crux of where I'm at. My previous, or not even previous, but the sleep nanny that I built over 12 years is still going brilliantly strong, international brand helping parents and kids sleep. That's managed by a managing director, and I'm still CEO and overseer of that, but it shall always be my baby. But yeah, this kind of that's me in a nutshell today.
I love that. CEO and overseer. Love that. That's the best phrase ever. Absolutely love that. I want to pull back to something that you said there, and because I think that's a really good one to start with our conversation with. You said probably the things that we didn't have when we started. I was about 20, it was 20 years this year for me for my first business. I started young too, but not quite that young. I did do 14 years in corporate before that. So I think that's a really valid point. So let's explore that because
Mm.
I don't think we're not born with, we're not taught at school. Our parents, unless we've got entrepreneurial parents who do teach us that stuff, I didn't have that. Then we start a business and we haven't got a clue what we're doing. It's like having a baby.
Yeah.
They give you the baby and they say, off you go. And you're like, what do I do with it? What do I do with it? So go back, let's go back. I love to rewind back now. So let's go back 27 years ago when you started your first business. Did you go straight into business from school effectively?
I did about 20 jobs in 2 years.
Right, okay, yeah. So,
And was like, yeah, no, I didn't. So I didn't go to university. I
uh-huh,
went from sixth form college, so I did
uh-huh,
my A levels right when. So my dad passed away in the midst of that time.
right, okay.
I left school early anyway, and I'd gone through a slightly alternative route through the last part of my education. So I left at 14, and I did what would be year 10, 11. In an alternative way, and then went into college a bit early and did my A level. So I did the stuff, but in a different way. And then I lost my dad. I was going to go to journalism school, but I didn't because at that point I was like, I can't do this right now. I had a great job as dance captain on a live entertainment venue, which I loved. And I was like, I just need to do this at the moment. I'm happy. So he was an entertainer and had his own business and he was entrepreneurial. Whilst I wouldn't say I got direct lessons and teachings, I learned a lot. I think I just grew up with a lot of that around me. So there's no way it couldn't have somehow got into my bloodstream. I think it was like something was definitely in me. Um, but yeah, so I'm answering your question. So I didn't know, so I didn't go then into anything corporate. I don't have any clue of that world. But I started a business kind of like a side gig while I was in the last job I was employed in. Um, which was a cruise reservations consultant. And this was just, pay the bills. I got a mortgage when I
Uh-huh.
was just over 21. So I was like, I've got to have this and I've got to pay my bills. But this isn't for me. So as soon as I was making enough money through at that point DJing and singing and that kind of stuff, I'm out and I left that job. So yeah, from 18 to 21, it was a hybrid of my own thing and that like the last few jobs. I did everything, honestly, Emma, from air stewardess to mobile phone sales to like I pretty much tried everything. But then yeah, went all in and when I was 20, 21, and then I've worked for myself ever since. So yeah, I'd say it's it's like a very long-winded way of learning, but you can't learn that stuff in a classroom. You just can't. It's not, no one can teach you. The best business degree professor can't teach you what you can learn through doing all those who are doing. Like it's just a different world.
Exactly, exactly. And I love that you tried all of those different things because if you never try, you don't know what you're going to enjoy doing, do you? So you may as well try whilst you can. And I think that's something we do in business, isn't it? Like you say, we test things, we see if it works, and if it doesn't, we try something else until we find the thing that we think, this is it, this is what lights me up. So would you say as this young woman coming into the world of entrepreneurship, knowing that that's your path somehow, would you say you know what you were looking for in terms of what success was going to look like for you?
No clue. No. All I knew was, and not even intellectually knew, I mean, just kind of in my body somewhere, all I knew was I needed to make money doing something that I enjoyed. Literally, that was it. I knew that I needed to pay my way. Like I said, I had a mortgage very young. I had bills. Like I had to stand on my own 2 feet, but I needed to do what lit me up. And so when I found that, oh, you can do this and get paid, that was like, okay, what else can we do with this? And I think I've just had ingrained in me this belief that you can make stuff happen. Like just because stuff isn't maybe the norm or the way things are done doesn't mean it isn't possible. And so I'm not very good at taking no for an answer. My husband will tell you that one. I'm not very good at accepting a no because I'm like, but there has to be a way. Like there's got to be a way. There's always a way. And that's both a blessing and a curse because
Yeah,
I'll
I
look
can
at
imagine.
I look at a shelf on a shop, and my kids go, "Mum, they don't have any," and I'm like, "There must be here somewhere." Like I'm very like determined that the solution is there. But yeah, I think that that determination was what got me rolling, and it was like, oh, I can earn a living and do what I love.
Which I think is really powerful for you to get that at the beginning. Because a lot of people get to a point of either burnout or hatred or all whatever that looks like in terms of either the career or the business or whatever they're doing before they actually realize, actually, I can do this. I can earn money doing something I enjoy. I don't have to do what I have to do. I can, there is another way. So I love that you recognize that right at the beginning. And I'm sure there was things that you thought, not enjoying this, move on, which is probably the 20 odd jobs in 2 years situation, isn't it? Not enjoying this, let's try another one. Yeah, absolutely love that. Would you say that is what you have taken through your journey in terms of the businesses and things that you have developed and built and ran since that drive and desire to find a solution?
Yeah, definitely. Because it's always had to like fit for me in terms of what I enjoy. So back when it was just me, I remember thinking like, I don't want to work in the summer. Like I literally had this, like in the school holidays and you get the summer off. I think I've only ever maybe worked one because I love being outside in the sunshine and I love that atmosphere. And I've managed to either end a job or start a job or do something that took me outside and into that environment. And I thought, oh, this is good. And then when I became a mum, it was like, yeah, I'm going to be there for my kids during the summer. In fact, I think the only summer I never worked for anyone else in the summer. There you go. I've
Uh-huh.
worked for myself. I'm
Yeah.
my harshest boss ever who made me work. But yeah. And so I wanted it to fit. And I knew when my babies were babies, I worked really, really hard actually. When they were at nursery, but I knew that once they went to school, I was going to be doing all the school runs. I was going to be there during the school holidays. I was going to be around, and I wanted that so much. I wanted to soak up all that time with them. That probably has got a little bit to do with losing my dad and being that parent in that sense of I I need to give them me like as much as I can. Like I'm sure there's something in there, but um
Absolutely.
I still do that to this day. And so it's that has been at the forefront of what I've crafted. It's like this has got to fit. It's got to fit that. And so yeah, in that sense, I guess that is a case of, well, that is a form of success, right? Because it's successful in that you are crafting something that fits the life you want, the way you want to live.
Absolutely. And that's what so many people are striving for, isn't it? And you are
Yeah.
able to sit here and show people that actually this is possible. You can have a successful business in little inverted commas, whatever these little finger things I'm doing are that people can't see if they're listening to this on audio. I always forget people can't see when they're listening to audio. Exactly. Um, totally lost my thread now. So yeah, so I think people want this thing, don't they? This version of success, whatever that looks like for them, but often think that it's not possible. It's just what people tell you they can do, and all these gurus are sitting there and pretending this is happening, but behind the scenes they're actually doing all of this stuff. But you are a living proof that you have always had that right at your core that says this is one of my non-negotiables, and I want to spend the summer with my children, or actually if they're off doing their own thing, I want to spend it in the sunshine doing whatever I want to do.
What
um
lights you up. But don't get me wrong, there
exactly.
have been sacrifices. Like there have been times that I've worked harder than probably anyone in a corporate role would, where you can, close the door and say goodbye and switch off and go on holiday and switch off. I can't do that. That's like a personality flaw or not of mine that I can't do that. It's not who I am. But then I would say that the counter to that is, while some people would go, oh, but you work harder than anybody, or you put in more hours, or, you know, been working on something this week, and I have literally been at it almost every waking hour and when everyone else is asleep as well. But that's not all the time, and it's my choice. So that's the difference. So it's not about not doing it, or like some people portray on Instagram the laptop lifestyle, or like it's not that, but it's choice. So when I am working my butt off, it's usually on something that I am so excited about. It's creative outlet for me. It's putting meaning, like my purpose into the world, like then it doesn't feel like work. So yeah, I think that's important to know, because some people might go, oh, so you can just kind of breeze around and do what you want. And it's like, no, hard work is in there. It just isn't hard when you love it.
Exactly. And that all comes back to that choice word, doesn't it? Because there's times where we have to make a decision whether we go and sit in the sun, or actually, if we want to achieve this, we actually need to knuckle down, sit at the laptop, and actually get something done. And as
Mhm.
long as that's coming from a place of choice, you can do one or the other, but this will give you this outcome and this will give you the other outcome. You were then making that decision based on that. And yeah, it's keeping it real, isn't it? I think that's the
Yeah.
important thing for other people to see, so that they don't feel like failures. I think that's the thing, isn't it? I think sometimes people feel like they are not where they should be because they're looking at something that isn't a reality. So I love that you are so real and so upfront, and you say, this is what I've got, and this is why, and this is what I have to do to make that happen.
And I felt like a failure loads of the time. Like, oh, I think when you set the bar high, you're always feeling like a failure because you're always pushing it higher and higher out of your own reach. So it's like there's no, I think, immunity to feeling like that at times when you're striving for things. Like, I think that's part and parcel of it. So I've certainly felt that way and felt lost and felt stuck and all the things that anybody feels. I have felt them in bucket loads. So it's not like an easy breezy ride. And I wouldn't want anyone to think that.
No, but it's achievable, and
Yes.
that's the thing, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
knowing that it is, whatever it is you want, it is achievable. You're just going to
Yeah.
have to do whatever you have to do and make those choices along the way to
Yeah.
get you to where you want to actually get to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you say, looking at life now and business as it is now, what would you say success looks like to you? What would your definition of success be for
Mhm.
you right now?
So I define success in like five pillars personally, and I call it the rich life because it's a fully rich life. And those pillars are time, money, relationships, health, and happiness. And they're like the values, I guess, that I stand by. And I think that pretty much like most things fit one of them. And so if anything in any significant thing in any of those pillars is like severely depleted or suffering or being sacrificed, then it possibly isn't success. So you see people who are um, perhaps making eight figures or more and or doing, phenomenally well monetarily, but they're maybe on the brink of severe health problems or relationships are in tatters. I've seen that happen so many times, building something at the cost of the relationships that matter most. Um, or health I mentioned, the other one is happiness. It can be as simple as an untangible as just joy. Like I just don't feel happy or fulfilled. So if any if anybody is categorizing success still as just money, they're missing the point. And that's something I'm really passionate about. But I do think money is part of it. It is a piece of the puzzle and it always will be. It is how we are built as society and humans on this planet. So it is a part of it and it can be hugely leverageable. It can leverage all those other pillars. It can make a difference to other people. Like there's so much you can do with it when you make friends with it. But so it's not the enemy, but it's also not the be all end all. And so that's that's sort of my message, I guess, and the mantra I live by, and that's the sort of stuff I keep an eye on for myself. So it's like, okay, well, am I living in alignment with that then? And I think when you're not in alignment because things could be great on paper, but they feel icky, or you feel just a bit flat, empty. Um, so I think it's knowing when you feel in alignment, usually it means you're growing and you're contributing. And if those two boxes are ticked, usually it's all going to be good. So I think that's really important. And I feel like I wouldn't say I have all of that sewn up. I have them like drawn out as like little test tubes and like you fill up these little test tubes. And I wouldn't say they're all full permanently. Like that's crazy and probably unrealistic. Like
That's life,
realistically,
isn't it? Real life,
life.
real business
Yeah,
ownership, that you're never going to be, every cup is not going to be full constantly, is it? It's an
no.
impossible thing.
It's impossible. And if people strive for that, they're gonna be miserable because they're gonna feel like they're failing. But it's just an awareness. It's an awareness of like, all right, do you know what? I'm depleting myself a little bit here at the moment. Doing that because of this, but I need to be mindful of that. So I'm gonna put a little bit of focus over there now and I'm gonna up my game on that. Or, so just having that awareness. And I think I do that pretty well. I think self-awareness is one of my strengths. And I think that so I don't proclaim to have all of those things mastered at all times, but I do proclaim to be pretty aware of where I'm at with them and doing the work I need to do when it's slipping.
Yeah. And I think awareness is really important, isn't it? Once you're aware of the things that one, drive you, two, motivate you, and three, when things are not quite what they're supposed to be, I think the sooner we're aware of that, the sooner that we can do something about it, isn't it? And I know for me, from personal experience in my previous business, that's the area that I was filling one cup. I was filling the money cup. That's the only
Yeah.
cup that I was filling at that time. Don't know why, don't know, what the driver behind that was, but I was literally filling that money cup and everything else was just getting emptier and emptier and emptier and emptier to suddenly this cup overflows and just feels wrong in its own sense. So you can put too much into one, can't you, and not the other. So I love that you've got that awareness, and I've certainly got that a lot more now than I ever did. But let's talk about money a little bit because it's something that back in 2021, 2022, I could not talk about money. If anybody mentioned money, I was like, icky. Nobody wants money. Money makes you miserable. Money makes you unhappy. Anybody that tells you money makes you a better person and a happier person is talking through their bottom, basically. I wouldn't have it at all. I wanted to just help people to be happy in business, and I could not see the link between money and happiness. Didn't exist in my, now I can. It's the choices and everything else that sits there. But there is still this real in the general world, there is still this real sort of push pull, isn't there, in terms of whether we talk about money, whether we don't talk about money, whether money makes us happy, whether money makes us miserable. And I think I'd love to explore what you said there about actually money is part of it. What do you see as money being part of that?
I think it's in stages because money, I'm going to be as bold as to say money does make us happy up until a point. So not definitively, but up to a point. So this is probably why, like you said, oh, I don't know why, but it used to be all about, I was set out about money. Probably that is where most of us start out because when we're starting out in our 20s, out of whether it's uni or whatever it is, we need to survive, right? We've got to go into the big wide world and stand on our own 2 feet. And so money's always going to be a primary driver in those early days because it's survival. So money is survival. And then when money's not survival, it becomes lifestyle and extras and nice to haves and it grows. And so it depends on what it is and what it means to you. But if somebody is living hand to mouth and they're on the breadline and their money is purely survival, it is going to impact their happiness levels. There's no doubt about that. Like it will. Um, Psychology tells us that. But once you're out of survival and you're able to live comfortably, it won't then create happiness. It will then, ideally it will sustain you and hold you but you're then responsible for your happiness in other ways ultimately. So it plays a part, and that's how I see it in the happiness link. But I see it as leverage. And I think money buys us leverage, it buys us freedom and choices. And that's the biggest thing with money. So where there's a lot of old narratives of, how rich people are greedy, or I don't know, this idea that if you take more, you're taking it from somebody else who hasn't got it, or any of these concepts that you can explore. Like, I think we need to sort of get away from that and realize that actually when we hold money, we first of all we have choices. So if you were in a bind or if something did crop up or if there was a health emergency or whatever, you've got options, you've got choices, you can do those things. You can help others, you can serve others. You can also create in our world a bigger platform where you can get seen and heard more, where you can spread and share a message wider. Nobody ever made a massive impact without the money to put behind that. It doesn't kind of come from nothing. And this is where I find, especially in the UK, women in business that is a purpose-led, heart-centered, make a difference business find it so hard because they usually go into it with a view to use their skills, their expertise, or whatever it is to help others, to serve others, and get all like knotted up around the money bit, which makes them not very good marketers nor salespeople. But the way they get to help more people and the ripple effects of that takes money. And so we've got to get comfortable with it. So yeah, I think we need to talk about it. And I actually massively am an advocate for more women holding more money and having a bigger voice because I think that nothing anti-male whatsoever, all, but I think there are too many leaders in this world. I think it's very old-fashioned, and I think that we need more women with money and voice and power and leadership in the world as a whole, because I think it's time for a bit of a feminine edge.
And why not? Why not? And I think the key to that there is, isn't it? we see ourselves in other people, don't we? And if we don't see ourselves in that person, it takes away a bit of that, I can do that too, doesn't it? So
Yeah.
we need to be able to look at somebody or listen to somebody and see ourselves within that. And I suppose that
Yeah.
comes back to your content, doesn't it? Making sure that what you're saying is hitting the right people. But we do need to see ourselves in these people that are, whether it's financially successful or successful in other ways, to be able to believe that, do you know what, if they can do it, I can do it too, because we're the
Mhm.
same thing, we're the same thing. So I love that, and there definitely 100% is a link. For me, it was because I put a bad logo onto money because I believed that there was the money that made me unhappy. It was nothing to do with the money.
Mm.
It was me, it was my strategy, it was what I was doing with it. It was, you spoke about all of your science jars. I can't even think what they're called. I
Yeah.
told you I'm tired.
Yeah.
Test tubes, couldn't even think what they were called then. Being full, I wasn't filling all of those cups, all of these things. And this all comes back to what you said right at the beginning, which was, I wish we'd got somebody to teach us this stuff at the beginning.
Yeah, yeah. And to be able to grab what we need when we need it, because it's always
Uh-huh.
changing. One week it's like, oh, I really need something on money this week. And it might be like, oh no, I really need something on identity and what my my beliefs are around it. Like I need some help with getting into my own head, or okay, no, now I just need to get a really good funnel together. Like there's so many pieces to business. Like and there are so many great people out there that do all of these things, but it can make it a minefield for people. And my mission is to bring that together into a place that is really accessible, where people are like, oh, okay, answers and guidance and direction. It's not, don't have to walk around lost for years. I know
No,
what that
and
feels like.
oh, exactly. And me too. And it's overwhelming, isn't it? You see all these different things and you just think, well, I need that one. And now I've got that one. There's a piece, another piece I need. So now I need that one. And it gets overwhelming and expensive, if we're completely honest, doesn't it? When you're early and you're trying to learn and develop all of these skills, it's a barrier, isn't it, to getting you to where you want to get to. So I love that
Yeah,
you're creating a capsule, I'm going to call it, of
yeah, great
everything
word.
together that enables people to come from here, right at the beginning of the journey, to wherever they are, because you don't stop learning, you don't stop finding new things. And I think that's the thing with business. There's never a point where that's it, made it now, don't need to do anything.
No,
I can just sit here and let it all happen. It's something else changes. I mean, when did AI appear? Now, you
like
know,
overnight.
it literally did, didn't it? I was having this
Yeah.
conversation with somebody that I connected with probably 3, 4 years ago. And I think of our conversations back then, AI was never mentioned. I don't think we have one conversation now where it doesn't come into there. I was chatting to Claude last night, or something comes into that conversation.
Yeah, and that's so applicable though. It is so relevant and it isn't going away. We've got to work, with that and alongside us is there's so much conversation on that at the moment and a lot of uncertainty, but it's just I think I don't freak out about that kind of thing. I'm very level-headed with like, okay, we'll navigate that, well, there's a way. But also, I always look at things. I am a bit of a eternal optimist, so I do always see the good, but I see opportunity. I see the good side of things and how we can use things for good and to make a good difference in the world. And there's always that side to anything if you look for it.
Absolutely, it's a completely it's an evolving world, isn't it? The world, full stop, is evolving, and as business
Yeah.
owners, we have to keep up with that, don't we? We have to keep up with that. So, what's coming up for you? What are the next steps for you?
Oh, well, I'm really excited at the moment. I'm working on my next book. So I wrote my first book I published in 2015, so over 10 years ago now. And I'm partway through my new book, which is called Born to Be Brilliant. It stopped being the reason the world can't hear you. So
Love
I'm
that.
excited about that. Lots of speaking events coming up, which is great because it puts me back on the stage where I began. I'm quite happy with a mic in my hand. That's my happy place. So lots of that, which is great because it just means I get to share the message more, hopefully empower more and more people who have got magic and messages to bring into the world. And that's what I really, really want to do with my book and my speaking. And then, yeah, the membership eSchool, like just, funneling people into a place and going, hey, look, there's a solution and it's here for you. And I do teach and I am a good teacher, but I don't proclaim to know all the things, and but I can bring in other people and the people that do know. So it's a place to access more than just me, like the best in all the things. So that's where, yeah, that's what's coming up, and that's what's on the horizon.
All sounds very exciting. When does your book come out? Or don't you know
I
yet?
don't know. I don't know yet. I've
Not
got
there
no
yet.
date.
Not there
It
yet.
depends. It depends on the publishing route, and I've got to wait to hear on a few things. So, yeah.
Okay,
But as soon as I
exciting.
know, I will share.
Ooh, super, super exciting. Okay, so what I like to do towards the end of each one of my episodes is ask my guests to share with us a top tip. Now, you've shared lots and lots of value, but if you could just share one tip with all of our listeners, what would that be?
Oh, oh my gosh. You're asking me to be concise, and that is so easy for me. One top tip, there are so many. Um, I think I think if I were to try and pin it down to one thing, it would be to to find the courage. It's really about courage, and anything that ever feels like it's stopping you or blocking you, it's gonna come down to courage. That's the solution that will get you past it. There are a lot of layers to it, but the courage, whether it's to use your voice, whether it's to step out into an arena that's unknown, whether it's to, get out of your comfort zone, whether it's to learn something new. But we hide behind so many things. We hide behind, oh, I just need to go and get another training or take another degree, or or I don't know this, or I need to learn this, or I'm not good enough, or whatever the things are we tell ourselves. And we tell ourselves so much rubbish that keeps us small or dim, as I call it. It's like you're a brilliant bright light. Don't don't die with your song inside you.
I
You know,
love that phrase.
you've got to get it out there. So find the courage. That's what you need.
Find the courage. That is powerful. That is, I love, love, love that. And I think we are our own worst enemy, aren't we? We are our own
Yeah.
worst enemy in terms of telling ourselves we can't do something without even trying. How do we know if we
Nothing
don't
else.
actually give it a go?
Nothing else really stands in our way. It's
What's
us.
the worst that can happen? And I think that's something that I always live by. Well, it is nowadays anyway. What is the worst that can happen? And I
Mhm.
guarantee it's not as bad as something that's probably already happened or could, happen in the future or whatever that sits and looks like. So I love
Yeah.
that. Find the courage. Okay. So I'm sure our listeners are going to want to come and find you. They're going to want to know when this book is coming out. Going to want to come and find out about your new community. I say new. I don't even know if it is new. Sorry, it might not be new.
It's kind
Um,
of an involvement.
Any
Yeah.
involvement. So they want to come and find out about your community. So where is the best place for them to come and find you?
Well, in most places, you'll find me as either I am Lucy Shrimpton or just Lucy Shrimpton. If you look me up, you'll find me. My website is lucyshrimpton.com. And if you jump on my email list, you'll always find out when you'll find out all the new things about the book and where I'm at. So I share that with my community on there. So jump on my email list. Which you can also do from my website, lucyshrimpton.com. All my links to socials are on there as well. So that's probably the best place to start is lucyshrimpton.com.
Amazing. And before we go, is there anything else you would like to share with our listeners?
Oh, just no, really not. Just come and chat to me because I love people and I love connection and I connect myself. There's no person doing it for me. So come and chat to me. I'd really love to connect with you and like let's find the courage together.
Oh, I love that. Let's find the courage together. Give me goosebumps. Brilliant. Lucy, I have loved this conversation. Thank you so much for joining me.
Me too. Thank you so much for having me.
My absolute pleasure. And everybody else, we will see you next time.